New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
One power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown, Atlanta. And such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity. And so am I. And so it is. We welcome you here this Memorial Day weekend, 2024, to join us in this celebration of life. The opportunity to come together, to hear, to share inspirational messages. That's what we're here for. We are a strong, open, globally connected community centered on the clarity of principle through teaching, service, and practice. We create a safe and respectful environment that supports healthy spiritual growth. That's why we're here. And now I'd like to introduce our practitioners for a better understanding of who we are, the principles of the center and CSL.
I believe
in one God,
one absolute power and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love
and creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life
and the immortality of the individual soul,
forever unfolding.
I believe
in the eternal goodness,
the eternal goodness of God,
the eternal loving kindness,
and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is.
So, welcome back. We've got practitioners. Practitioner is someone who has demonstrated the ability to use spiritual practice and spiritual life to bring about great changes in their lives. They've demonstrated that they know how to bring about these changes in others when asked. Licensed by the for Spiritual Living, they're able to provide you spiritual guidance and support in these areas where you're looking for assistance. And you can contact them through our website, cslmidtown.org. Today, we've got one of our wonderful practitioners with us to share good ideas and an affirmative prayer called a spiritual mind treatment. This morning, we've got Norma Roberts. Thank you so much, Norma.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you for a wonderful introduction. And good morning to all of you. It's so very good to be here today and to share with you some of the ideas I have in mind. You know, we have a Science of Mind magazine that has such inspiring messages. I've chosen one to share with you that I'd like to share with you today. The messages are quite long, so I've only taken an interesting excerpt from it just to share today. The title of the message is Interbeing, Interconnected, Intertwined. I like this article because it really speaks about oneness with all. Ernest Holmes says, the more completely we are able to see God in everything, the more completely will the one God in all things respond to us. The article goes on to tell us our beliefs, thoughts, and actions have power and are created in all that we see. But this creation does not occur in a vacuum. I do not create separate from you or separate from all of life. Instead, my creation is intertwined with everything. Understanding our interbeing creates an awareness that what I give to the universe impacts not only me and not only you, but everything. When we fully grasp this, not just in our brains, but with our whole being, we can begin to understand the magnitude of our connection. The interbeing, or the connections, means the decisions in our lives not only support us individually, but also support justice, peace, love, and equality in the lives of others. Reciprocity. Reciprocity does not say, I'm going to give so I can get, or I'm going to take because there may not be enough, or even you get to have this, but only if you can prove your worth. Instead, the principle of reciprocity says, when we all bring what we have to the table, everyone will be fed. What a wonderful idea. When we bring ourselves, our authentic selves to the table, everyone is fed. So now I invite you to join me in treatment, after which we will have reflection music. So just relax, close your eyes if you like, and just accept for yourself any part that resonates with you. And know that as I speak in the first person, I speak as you. So just be with me. As we come together, let us know there is but one life. That life is God, that life is my life right here and right now. I know the Spirit ever creates more of itself. More life, more love, more light, more peace, power, beauty, joy, more wholeness, health, abundance, and a ceaseless process of expanding good. I know I'm one with this power, It expresses through me and as me as I awaken to my divine inheritance. I know and I affirm that my world is infinitely good and creative. I live in a field of unlimited possibility, infinite potential. Love lights my way, and divine intelligence expressing its wisdom in my intuition leads me to people, places, things, and experiences that nourishes my awakening consciousness. With clarity and confidence, I act in faith and allow demonstrations of perfect health in all areas of my physical body. I experience abundant wealth as money flows to me constantly through expected and unexpected channels. It's always crammed, jammed with abundance under grace and in perfect ways. Love and creative self-expression unfolds before me in joyous celebration of my oneness with the infinite. Any thought of restriction, lack, or fear previously held is released as I surrender to the infinite goodness of spirit. I accept all manifestations that are perfect for me now. It is with great peace and gratitude I release my word to the law of mind and know it is already done as I await the magnificent manifestation. As together we say, and so it is. And now we have reflection music.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
all that
is a gift.
I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it
You're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
all
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all.
Every day
I sit and pray, cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan, but there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am, and everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am, and everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am, and everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am, and everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Wait, one more. This is for y'all.
all that I am,
All that I see.
All that I've been.
It's a blessing. It's so amazing.
and I am grateful
An awesome intro. So we have a wonderful speaker this morning, Reverend Dr. Michele Wittington. Her vision for her life is to travel her ever-ascending spiritual journey and serve others with love, compassion, and humor as they travel theirs. With that vision in mind, she became an ordained religious science minister in 1998 and served as a senior minister to Creative Living Fellowship, a religious science church community in Phoenix, Arizona, for almost 22 years. She's also a licensed Art of Feminine Presence master teacher, certified real love coach, as well as a positive intelligence coach. When Michele left her pulpit ministry in 2018, she began a new ministry as the founder of Unleash Your Life Consulting. In this new expression of her vision, she's a nationally sought after speaker, offers classes, workshops, and retreats, as well as one-on-one mentoring, all aimed at empowering those who want to take their feet off the brakes and fully embrace their dreams. I'm sure we can all relate to that. Mm-hmm. So in early 2022, she became the executive director of the affiliated New Thought Network. And when she's not engaged in doing all of that, she's living her unleashed life with her rescue dog, Curly. Thank you for being here, Reverend Michele.
Thank you, Vance, and thank you all for having me here. My delight to be here again. And I love that the pre-song was Nimo and Daniel. It made me a little teary because I love them so much, and they have such a beautiful gift in the world that they offer when they individually, and then when they come together, it's magic. So great pick on that song, everybody. So this month's theme is moving from good to great to grand. And the idea that we can bring that concept into community is where we're going to go today. How do we bring good to great to grand into community? Here's the deal. We need each other. We came into this life to do amazing things, to be amazing lights, to give our gifts, to share, and we do that in community. We're not here to go it alone. Why is that? Well, I think it's because we are made out of the same stuff. Spiritually speaking, we are all God in expression. We know that. I don't need to say that to you guys. You know this. We are God in expression. And if each one of us is God in expression, then the gods in expression need to come together. We can't just be by ourselves. And the theme for today is entitled Many Hands, One Heart. And I think that's what we are. We each have hands, we do our thing, but we are living and breathing with the one heart. We are connected at that soul level. And when we consciously connect in community, that's when we are the strongest. And I want to start this morning with a parable. Not a parable from Jesus, by the way, but he did say something really important I'm going to tell you before I share the parable, and that is when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, in my nature, right? I will be in the midst of thee. The I am energy is in the midst of all of us when we are gathered. So the parable I want to share with you is the parable of a king, an elderly king who was on his deathbed. And he called all of his family in. He called his adult children and their spouses and his relatives and some of the older children. He called the older grandchildren. He called them all in. And they were standing around his bed. And he gave them all a sturdy stick. And he said to them, I want you to try to break that stick. And for some people, breaking that stick was very easy. It just popped. For others, it was a little more difficult, but eventually everybody broke that stick. And the elder said, this is how it is when we go in this world alone. Our souls can easily be broken. Then he handed out another stick to each person and some twine. And he said to them, what I want you to do now is make bundles of these sticks. Put them in bundles of 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what his family did. They stood around his bed and they made bundles of sticks. And then he said to them, now try to break those bundles. And they couldn't. Not even the bundles of 2 could they break. And the wise king's message to them was, we are strong when we stand with another soul. When we are with another, we cannot be broken. This is how I would like you to live after I am gone. Isn't that beautiful? And I love that those sentences that he said, we are strong when we stand with another soul. When we are with another, we cannot be broken. So today, we're going to look at standing strong with other souls by exploring what is community, and specifically what is spiritual community. And then secondly, what stands in the way of creating spiritual community, or what is one thing that stands in the way, that's a barrier to creating spiritual community. So that's where we're going to go. I hope that's good with you because I'm ready to do it. And the first question is, what is spiritual community? Because we know it's more than church. Church, yes, is spiritual community. Well, we hope it is anyway, once I make the definition of spiritual community. But it's certainly more than that. We can create spiritual community in our friendships, in our families, in classes that we might take. We can create spiritual community anywhere. I love the definition of spiritual community that comes from the East and the word Sangha. Sangha is defined, at least by Dennis Merritt Jones in his book, The Art of Being. He defines Sangha as a community of individuals dedicated to creating and sustaining an environment that nurtures and supports reverence, mindfulness, and spirituality as a lifestyle. That, to me, is a beautiful definition of spiritual community. And in a spiritual community that's doing that, there must be safety. If there isn't safety, those things I just mentioned aren't going to happen. Dennis Merritt Jones goes on to describe Sangha as a place where each person is respected, accepted, and loved. Sangha is a safe space where we can be ourselves. It's an environment where our individual creativity is incubated and our authentic self-expression is encouraged. And it's a place where our greatness, and to go with our theme of the month, we'll say our grandness, is believed in. That's Sangha. That's spiritual community. And I love the affirmation that the CSL theme makers who created the theme for this month offered up to us, that I'd like us to affirm here. I'm going to say it once, and then wherever you are, I want you to say, I know we can't hear each other, but I want you to say it after me. So it goes like this. I create spaces for authentic self-expression in both myself and others. Take a deep breath. And then say this with me. I create spaces for authentic self-expression in both myself and others. That's creating Sangha. In her book, Dreaming the Dark, author Starhawk defines, she doesn't say she's defining Sangha when she wrote this, but it is for me a powerful definition of Sangha. And it goes like this. Somewhere there are people to whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch in our throat. Somewhere a circle of hands will open to receive us. Eyes will light up as we enter. Voices will celebrate whenever we come into our own power. Community means strength that joins our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Arms to hold us when we falter. A circle of healing. A circle of friends. Some place where we can be free. Whew, take that one in for a moment. That is very juicy and very yummy. Another beautiful statement that describes Sangha, although I don't think our author, Ernest Holmes, was particularly thinking about Sangha when he wrote this in Can We Talk to God, his great book, Can We Talk to God? He said, there is something in us that longs for the sympathetic understanding, the kindly response, the sense of a presence which is warm, pulsating, and colorful. We must have it. And I sense that as we meet each other in love and friendship, in the warmth of a handshake, and in good fellowship, it is God. What else could it be? The hand that gives is the hand of God. And the eyes that see are the eyes of God. In each other, through each other, we contact God. So I don't know about you, but as I listen to those quotes and what I've shared so far, I think to myself, this thing, spiritual community, this thing, Sangha, I just want to be there all the time. It sounds like utopia. It sounds like the Garden of Eden. It's perfection. And so I'm going to find a spiritual community like that, because they must be like that all the time, right? Spiritual community must be like that all the time, right? Right? Maybe not. Maybe not always are we creating experiences like I've shared already. That place of safety, that place of where we can be authentic, that place where we are accepted for who we are, that place where our dreams are incubated, that place where we are celebrated and held. In our humanness, we, each of us, and others often do things that completely knock us out of Sangha consciousness. And I suspect you know what I'm talking about. At least you've had experiences like that, where you've even had some disappointment when you've been in what you thought was Sangha, when you thought was sacred community, spiritual community, and then something happened and it just didn't feel good anymore. What is that? What causes that? That's what I want to look at next. What keeps us from really living these ways I've described Sangha this morning? Is there a common barrier to having the great and deep experience of Sangha? Well, I believe there is. And it is discussed deeply in Don Miguel Ruiz's book, The Four Agreements, which I hope every single one of you has and has read many times. If not, go get it. It's not a new book, but it's an amazing book. And I'm going to suggest this morning that, all the four agreements are amazing, but there's one agreement that when we don't make it, that can be the death of Sangha consciousness. In fact, Ruiz suggests that one of the agreements, if we live it, we will be able to live in what he refers to as white magic. That's from the Toltec tradition, white magic. And he defines white magic as the place of creating, giving, sharing, and loving. Sangha. So which one of the four agreements, if we were to practice it, would create greater Sangha? And the opposite is true. When we don't practice it, it can really mess with creating this beautiful experience. And that is the agreement to not make assumptions. Take a breath. Not make assumptions. We have a tendency to make assumptions all the time, right? The problem with the assumptions that we make is that once we've made them, we believe them. They become truth for us. And then we have emotional reactions to them. And then we act out on those emotional reactions. And that is death to Sangha experience. Here's what Ruiz says about assumptions. And just listen to this rabbit hole that assumptions take us down. He says it's very interesting how the human mind works. We have the need to justify everything, to explain and understand everything in order to feel safe. We have millions of questions that need to be answered. It's not important if the answer is correct, just the answer itself makes us feel safe. That's crazy, isn't it? That's Michele's commentary, not Don Miguel's. It is not important if the answer is correct. We just need the answer to make us feel safe. That is why we make assumptions. If others tell us something, we make assumptions. And if they don't tell us something, we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know and to replace the need to communicate. Even if we hear something and don't understand, we make assumptions about what it means. And then, as I said already, we believe those assumptions. We make all sorts of assumptions because, and here comes a key phrase, we make all sorts of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. We don't have the courage to ask questions. The way to create sacred spiritual community is to not make assumptions, but instead to ask questions. Now, in this context, we're talking about questions of others when we don't understand something that they're saying to us. But I want to take it a step deeper and say, I invite us to ask questions of ourselves. What assumptions about myself am I making that then cause me, follow the logic here, that then cause me to make assumptions about you, which then cause me to have an emotional reaction and then cause me to have an action? What are the assumptions we make about ourselves? And I want to give you a personal example here. So an assumption that I have made in the past, and I still work with, I still have to be very mindful that it wants to pop in. And it's the assumption that if I do something that you don't like, then you won't like me, and then you won't love me, and then you will leave. That's a fundamental assumption. It doesn't matter where I got it, but I did. If you don't like something I do, you won't like me, you won't love me, and you will leave me. So my behavior sometimes can be adjusted so that I don't have to live that assumption. Let me give you a quick example of that. When I was a minister of a church, I had a beautiful spiritual community, and I had a great music director who scheduled all of our musicians to come in and sing for our Sunday services. One Sunday, we had this group called Larissa Stowe and Shakti Tribe. This was the first time they were with us. Well, they are wild. There's 5 or 6 of them, depending on the moment of their configuration of their band. There's 5 or 6 of them. They take up the whole stage with instruments and with a very Eastern altar, and their music is loud. It is a blend of Eastern chants and hard rock and rap. And the songs, as I said, are loud. They're long. Larissa has this amazing voice. She can hit high notes like you can't believe. They raise the roof. So the first time they're with us, I was loving them. But then in the back of my mind came this little niggle. Ooh, I had an older community. I'm like, I wonder how my older folks are doing. I wonder if they're liking this. Oh my gosh, they might not be liking this. Oh my gosh, then they're going to be mad at me. Oh my gosh, then they're going to leave. That was the rabbit hole my brain started to go down. I had one particular couple that I was concerned about. This beautiful, sweet couple, probably in their late 80s, came to church dressed to the nines every single Sunday, him in his perfect suit, her in her beautiful dress, sometimes even with a hat. They were just delightful people. And I remember sitting there thinking, moving myself out of absolutely loving everything these musicians were doing to worrying about what other people are thinking, particularly that couple. So, anybody relate to that kind of behavior, that kind of rabbit hole experience, that our assumption about ourselves then informs our assumptions about others? So what happened? Well, that couple did not come back to church the next Sunday. And they did not come back the next Sunday. And they did not come back the next Sunday. And I thought, aha, my assumption was correct. They hated that music. It turned them off. They've left. I felt personally responsible. I thought, I'm never going to have that band back again. I can't afford to have this happen in my community. Blah, 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 blah. Had to kind of let that go and just went on and did life. A couple of months later, this beautiful couple, they're back in church. And I was so excited to see them back. And at the end of service, they went through the line and I told them how much I had missed them. And they said, oh, we are so sorry we didn't reach out to tell you. The woman was saying this. She said, my sister got ill back east and we went back east to take care of her. And we just got back and we're so happy to be back to our spiritual home. Wow. My assumption. I got busted in that assumption. I will never forget that experience. You know what they say about making assumptions? It makes an, and I'm going to say, not going to say the 3-letter word, but you know what it is, out of you and me. And it does. Because of my assumption, I was not ever going to have that band back. And I felt really bad. And I could have cleared that up really fast. I could have cleared that up in 5 minutes by making a phone call and having the courage to ask the question. Sometimes we don't ask the questions because we don't actually want to know the answer, because we think our assumption is right. My friends, if we want to create sacred community, if we want to create Sangha, we must be willing to have the courage to ask questions. Ernest, by the way, I had that band back many, many times, and not everybody loved them, but a lot of people did, me included. So Ernest Holmes, I want to give you a quote from Ernest Holmes that talks about our need to do our own work. It's in Words That Heal Today. He says, we reach God in others by reaching out from God within the self. Always the God in others will respond to the God in us, but never, key word here, but never beyond the level of our inward spiritual awareness. Never beyond the level of our inward spiritual awareness. That's a key to that quote. So it behooves us, I love that word, it behooves us to ask ourselves, what belief am I holding about myself that causes me to make assumptions about others? And then to have an expanded level of inward spiritual awareness that that belief is also an assumption that we have made true. When we explore that and live with that and play with that and run that around in our minds and our hearts, we can move into the habit of immediately asking questions, not only of others, but also our underlying assumptions. And that's when we will create Sangha. So my challenge for you this morning. My challenges, I have several challenges for you this morning. One is, ask yourself, how might I create more sacred spiritual community, more Sangha, here at CSL Midtown and in the other communities that I'm a part of? How might I create more sacred spiritual community? What beliefs about myself are just assumptions that I have taken on as truth? Am I willing to start questioning assumptions I make or I have made about others? And am I willing to start asking questions when I see myself making assumptions? That's some deep internal inquiry. I get that, but that's my challenge for you this morning. Because now, more than ever before, I think more than ever before, we need each other. We need Sangha. So I want to leave you this morning with a beautiful Hopi elder's prophecy. I've modified it. I have to be honest. I've modified it slightly to really fit our theme this morning, but I do not think I damaged the integrity of the meaning of this beautiful passage. It goes like this. To my fellow swimmers, life is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and so swift that there are those who will be afraid, who will try to hold on to the shore. They are being torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know that the river has its destination and all is well. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, swim and keep our heads above water. And I say, see who is there with you and celebrate. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves together. Banish the word alone from your attitude and vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in community, for we are the ones we've been waiting for. And that is an accurate assumption. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Michele. What a wonderful message this morning. All right. So you're welcome. So now it's time for our request for donations, I guess, for a time for giving, to give back to the spiritual community, which feeds us so greatly. That message this morning was amazing. And here is the way you can do it. You can scan the QR code, or you can go to cslmidtown.org/donate, and that will take you to the link to donate. You can set up a one-time donation or an ongoing giving donation, all of those things, all in that place. So if you would say with me our affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. So I got a few announcements. Next week, we're going to be back in person. It's the first weekend in June. We have Reverend Susan Zoller coming to join us at the Garden Hills Community Center. So if you're in Atlanta, please come join us. We'll have a potluck and enjoy that celebration. And if you're online, we will welcome you there because we're broadcasting still. So all that together, and we'll try and see if we can get that merged together like we did last time. So look forward to that. We are progressing on the transition team into some changes. So we've got several people that have stepped up to be on that transition looking team. And we've got some important things coming up. We could use one or two more people out there in the world, whether you're in Atlanta or somewhere else. And if you would send a message to president@CSLMidtown.org, and we will include you in that process, because it's definitely a process we're working toward to expand what CSL Midtown means and what that means to us and where we're going in the future. So if you would like to participate in that, please send an email to that email address and we will include you. If you would now say with me our affirmation of life. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. And so it is. And if you're online and you're not on Zoom already, join us on Zoom with Dr. Reverend Michele Wittington and have a discussion. It's at cslmidtown.org. You can go there, scroll down, and see the link for Zoom. There's a little code to get in, and we'll see you there. Thanks, and have an awesome week.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey! Oh yeah. Grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
There is a power for good in the universe,